Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here to the Dragon Nest Arena. It is all on again. Singapore taking on the Chinese. The Chinese currently doing themselves a good run, only losing one match previously. The Singaporeans, on the other hand, have everything to prove. So we'll be heading across to the map of the Lost Temple in just a few moments. Let's run you through those two sides once more, just for good measure. Singapore comprising the VFO. Here's the Acrobat, the far left-hand side of the stage, or your far right, if you will. Ice, here's in the middle. Here's the Priest and the Elemental Lord. That is NFO. As on the opposite side of the stage is Moon, down for the far side. Here's the Elemental Lord for China. 777, that mercenary who continues to unload merry hell on everybody who comes in his way. And also Cookie, he is the Priest. The Chinese side just switching themselves around ever so slightly, just so that 777 has the middle of the game as far as his team is concerned, so he can communicate a little more readily. Straight away the teams are into it, rocking and rolling and giving each other grief right out in the middle of the map there. The lightning cross gets dumped down on the floor, and the Chinese on the ancient side, that is the blue, are already pushing forward to try and isolate a couple of these Singaporean players and take them down. The Singaporeans in the meantime have also got themselves into some good measure, just with that Elemental Lord in particular, with NFO unloading on the Flame Rod nice and early, getting it all the way through the middle of the map, but the Chinese retaliate straight away, and the Elemental Lord cops themselves into a close range battle. There's a shard thrown out there. That's a good piece of work there from the Singaporean player. He's going to take down the Chinese Elemental Lord nice and early, and the mercenary now is going to be the one who has to unload. It is 777 to the foray. He has to try and get one back. There's going to be one kill picked up. So it'll be a 2v2 situation as we have a look. It's the Elemental Lord and the Acrobat. So they've lost their Priest along the way, and let's see how this puts them in the stead of the game. The two differences between the sides are, of course, the Mercenary and the Acrobat. The Priests and Elemental Lords are seen on both sides. So the Mercenary and the Acrobat currently in play for both sides. As we'll see them push on through the Mohawk. The Acrobat goes in down the back as the Mercenary came roaring in towards her. The Acrobat bounced on over the back. That is good work from VFO as he just tried to stay out of trouble and also just tried to get in on the Priest's face to take him down here for the Singaporean side. Mercenary and Priest go tailing around the map looking for the two Singaporean players, and they will find them up on the stairwell or top of the Troll Bridge as the Aggregate goes bouncing down, tries to unload Merry Hell, has a semi-decent response to it, but just couldn't quite pick it up in the end. 50 seconds left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Still a 2v2 situation. Mercenary needs to push on through, as does the Acrobat. They need to pick some kills up here for their side. The Elemental Lord is still in play, and she could come into effect here any second now with some decent hits. As 38 seconds, 37, 36 and 35 start to tick on down. This is going to be an interesting one here as the Elemental Lord waits and watches to see what goes on. Electricity runs through her veins as she gets copped one in the face. And then the backdoor treatment comes through from the Mercenary. It is still a 2v2 situation. 2v1 situation as Singapore lose their Elemental Lord. It will just be the Acrobat sitting there, and if you look at the top left-hand corner of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see why there is cause for concern as the shot, just about a roundhouse to the face of the Mercenary there as she bounces on around all over the map, throws out the vortex, but it will not be an escape. She literally just needed to be slapped across the cheek, and she would have gone down, and that is exactly how it occurred. The Chinese grabbed the first round, 1-0 on the scoreboard as the Dragon Nest Arena heats up between these two sides. The Singaporeans' previous outing was a fairly lackluster one from them as they managed to, the previous outing, not the one that they just did, but against the Philippines was a lackluster one. They were convincingly defeated, but now they're coming back with a vengeance as they took out the previous affair, and now they're looking to capitalise further against the Chinese players. 777 coming off a convincing win against Neymar, a player not seen here in the Singaporean lineup for the 3v3 affair. And these players now getting right in amongst it. The Acrobat pushing on top of the Priest over in the back play as the Elemental Lord is now pushing through as well. It's still a 3v3 situation. So much fire and ice being laid down, as well as the lightning being coursing from above as the Holy Crosses getting dropped down, as well as the big lightning crosses. Lightning cross just picking off the Priest from China there over in the back play. That is, of course, Cookie, who is continually doing some good work for his side. He just continues to get stuck over in a corner. The Elemental Lord is now his option of choice. as he heals up his teammates. A 3v2 situation. Singapore have already lost one. It looks like it won't be the Priest, in fact it'll be everybody, as the Priest and Elemental go down. Elemental Lord go down, and the early kill going onto the Acrobat. Singapore straight away 2 rounds. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll welcome back to the Lost Temple. We are rocking and rolling here for this matchup. It is a little bit of a glitch and everybody's back in racing. So it is 2 rounds to Zippo on the scoreboard in favour of the Chinese side. Singapore having to do an extreme amount of work here to recover from the situation, and they are in just the right mood to do it by the looks of it, as they get aggressive in through the middle of the map and start to push on through. Shots are going down all around, all over. There's the ice laid down, fire being flung out all over the place. The ice continues to push as the lightning comes in from the Priests, and more bashing and crashing out the back of the map. The Acrobat and Priest are going to have a little toe-to-toe out the back there, as are the Priest and the Elemental Lord. The Elemental Lord in the form of Moon just giving all manner of hell to his opposite numbers Priest, as he gets some support from his Acrobat alongside. He blinks out of a bit of an issue as he then gets some support of the Acrobat that is from his Priest, but the Priest is going to get taken down. That's the first player for Singapore dropped. It is going to be a 2v2 situation though, as the Priest for China gets taken down. That could turn into an interesting turn of events. It is going to be a Mercenary and a Elemental Lord taking on a Priest and an Elemental Lord. As I say that, the Elemental Lord for Singapore pushes on through, starts to get aggressive onto these Chinese players. The Mercenary stuck in a bit of a world of hurt and in fact taken down, so it's going to be all left up to the Elemental Lord in the form of Moon. He's stuck in a problem situation as the Acrobat starts to unload Mary Hell. She bounces around, bobbles around, trying to evade the issues coming in her general direction. Elemental Lord is alongside the Acrobat, and it could be an Elemental Lord versus Elemental Lord finale if there's anything to write home about. Here is the player in the form of Moon for the Chinese side. He's got a minute and a half left on the clock that he has to either drag a player down with him, or at least try and survive and or take out the opposition along the way. Either way, he needs to grab himself a kill and be a little bit more attacking than he currently is. Starts to make his way through to the middle of the map. He's just waiting for the opposition, and they are just waiting quite happily for him, as they know they've got the upper hand on this occasion. So the big question here is whose health bars are going to last the longest, and that's exactly how it works out. Oh, big shot flung out there as the Elemental Lord's starting to come into more effect. Here comes the Acrobat. Oh, the flame rod comes out. It's not going to come to anything. The Chinese will get tap upside the head, and it'll be 2 rounds to 1 on the scoreboard. They'll frantically talk about it. There's some smiles on the faces of the cookie, so he's a happy little man in the work that he's doing, which is nice to see. So off they start once again. The Chinese starting to push him through to the middle of the map as they get themselves organised, and shots ringing out across the map as the flame starts to go. The electric crosses, all those lightning crosses, drop down and through the middle of the map, and they're the ones that cause the grief in terms of stunning players for just a few seconds, enough to get them entrapped into a combination of moves from the other players around the map. And the Elemental Lord taking on the Priest out the back. This could turn into tears though for the Priest, as he gets caught into a world of hurt, flamed up and then shrouded in the ice. More ice spikes come out on him. He cops a whole host of holy light as he launches it down from up above, and then some ice comes in his general direction. The Elemental Lord loses sight of his opposition player, and then the Acrobat comes in to give him some grief. It is the Singapore players that are trying to tap up the Chinese players from all over the map. They've split them up quite nicely at the moment, and now they're starting to encase them with a whole lot of attacks coming from various directions. Singapore loses not 1 but 2, and then Moon jumps on the old witchy broomstick and goes roaring around the map, firing out the flame. And in the end, it's going to be the Acrobat stuck in a corner doing nothing but dying, and dying very, very gloriously as it goes 3 rounds to 1 in favour of the Chinese. These Chinese players, Cookie, 777 and the Moon, are teaming up very, very nicely when they need to. And as they start to rock on out from spawn once again, their combinations are coming together perfectly when they need to. They just when you think they're looking down and out, they pick themselves back up off the floor and absolutely unload a merry volley of attack and an offensive push, and it's really proving its worth for them, as once again the Moon blinking out of any issues that he was currently getting himself into, as he goes in close range on his opposite Elemental Lord, but she gets himself into a nice position. That's the NFO who unloads the ice shards and traps in an encasement for the opposite number. Elemental Lord v Elemental Lord out the backside. It is going to be some flames roaring up through the mid. It's still a 3v3 situation. 2 minutes 20 seconds left on the clock is more than enough for this round to come to a conclusion, as the players continue to battle it in nice and close. Flames go up, ice goes down, and the crosses get dropped as well. This time it's a buffing cross from the Priests as well. There goes the flame rod. Harry Potter work is the job of the day for Moon. as his opposite number is just stuck in through the middle of the map there. Blinks out of more trouble. Great work there from him. And then he blinks himself across to go into battle. And he gets some support from his teammates. There's the first player down. It's going to be the Priest for China and makes it a 3v2 situation. There's plenty of players brinking on the edge of death. There goes another one. That's the Elemental Lord. He gets dropped. It's the Priest for Singapore that will do the damage there. Well done to the Iceman. As now the remaining player starts to push on through, so we get ourselves into a situation where the push is still a good one here, and the players continue to go barreling on over in the various directions. Acrobat still standing, and so are the mercenaries. So there's the mercenary there for the Chinese side, as he starts to make his move across the middle of the map and moving himself around and just avoiding the imminent danger that is coming his way. So it is going to be a wait-and-see situation as he goes barreling down and gets taken down. It'll be a 4 round to 3 rounds to 2, sorry, situation on the scoreboard. So we start to push on into the next round, and let's see how we can go here, as it looks like. There we go. We get our mouse back, so that's exciting times as the shots go ringing out across all over the middle of the map. 3 rounds to 2 on the scoreboard as the Chinese players still have the advantage. Singapore picking up around there, and they'll be happy with the work that they're doing. Lots of flame and ice going on over in the corner as the Priest from China stuck in a corner in a bit of a pickle and a bit of a bind. He gets himself stuck. The mercenary comes in to save the day, but the Elemental Lord is up to the task as she drops down a whole lot of ice and also a whole lot of fiery, flamey issues. The Acrobat from Singapore just getting himself into a spot of bother as he gets a whole host of hurt unloaded onto him as the ice and flames continue to push him through the middle of the map. The first player goes down from the Singaporean side. The Elemental Lord in the form of NFO is going to go onto the broomstick, but it's all going to be too little too late because his teammates are both down, and he will go following them very, very shortly. Stuck in a corner, stuck in a rut, stuck dead. 4 rounds to 2. The Chinese strike back very, very quickly and furiously with plenty of health left on the board. 60% there for the Priest, in fact, and that's always a good effort when you've got about that much health left after this 3v3 competition has unfolded, because it means that you've managed to stay away from the issues and also make sure that your teammates get decent support. The players once again pushing into the middle here in this Dragon Nest arena. Shanda Invitational, best of 4, ladies and gentlemen. The two sides you've got in front of you are China taking on Singapore, and the two teams that haven't quite, not quite up on the stage, but will be soon enough, of course, are the Philippines and Malaysia. Shots ringing out all over the match as more fire and flames and death start to rain down upon everybody. It is a close-range tussle all over the map as the Priest on our screen is just firing off all manner of shots, buffs and otherwise. He calls in the Grand Cross. It goes screaming through the middle of the map as we lose another player. So we'll have a little break as that's occurred and come back in just a second, but I'm not sure, or maybe no. In fact, it's going to be okay because the players are still the dropped player. May have been the Elemental Lord who was dead. Yep, they're still playing by the looks of it. So there's the victory. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to go. All the players are in the lobby, ready to rock on into the Lost Temple. So it looks like that's about where we'll start to head in just a few seconds. So stick around as we head across in that general direction. The two teams, China taking on Singapore. So over to the Lost Temple we go, the figure 8 map of awesome, and it has been certainly awesome in terms of the results we've been having this weekend. Is some of the results have been going toe-to-toe and getting these players and teams all interlocked. The noises start as the flames erupt, so do the lightning crosses, and so do the boulders from the mercenaries. He goes back play, and the Singaporean player, the Singaporean Priest, he's just copping a whole lot of heat. He's copping a lot of attention as ice out the back of the play, and they have really decided they'll home in on him this time round. He is trying to avoid all manner of fury being unloaded on him from the Elemental Lord and the mercenary, and he's doing a decent job of it at this stage, just taking up the opposition time. And of course, by doing that, that allows his two teammates to go and try out the the opposition and see if they can take him down. They're doing very, very good work at this stage as the 3v3 situation continues to ensue. The Singaporean players are now, of course, on the colour of blue, as they've already lost one player, so that's the priest down for them. The object of a vast amount of attack has finally been successful for the Chinese side, who are now in the red, and they have then taken another one. That's the acrobat down as well. So this offensive blow has worked out quite well. The mercenary now taking on the elemental lord, doing so with some consummate ease, and it'll be first round to China. So the Chinese side just on the side of Chaos, which is in the red, and the Ancients are now comprising the Singaporeans, who are in blue. And I'm just running you through those two teams. And the players again, VFO, NFO and ICE make up Singapore. Cookie, 777 and the Moon are the Chinese team. So they get themselves organised underneath the troll bridge in through the middle. Once again, Mercenary rolls out the back to take on the Priest. It is definitely a targeted attack onto Ice, and he will need all the help his teammates can give, or at least for them to capitalise on the fact that he has been the target of the desires of the Chinese side, and try and take out the remaining player who is left on his lonesome. At this stage, it's going to be all on. Oh, the Priest knocked to the ground and absolutely bombarded with a furious attack, as I see the acrobat bouncing around all over the place. He's doing some decent work here, VFO. He really needs to capitalise, get himself a bit of a kill. He goes unloading with the combos, couldn't quite pick it up as the Priest, the Mercenary was the one who was taking on in that situation. The Mercenary now goes for a retaliatory bash, and 777 is always going to be too good on that situation. Acrobat copping a bit of heat, and literally with the fire still streaming out the back of his head, as the Singaporeans already lost a player. It is going to be their Priest who they once again lose. Ice is going to go down. So is the Acrobat and Elemental Lord, and that will be the Mercenary doing the damage on both those players. Once again, though, the Chinese targeting Ice in very swift fashion. We'll have a switch over to Ice to watch him. There we go. Here he is here. And you watch how quickly these Chinese, if they continue the same tactic, will do so. Singaporeans veering it up a bit, going out to the left-hand side, and firing a couple of shots. So that's good work there from the Acrobat in the form of the VFOs. He just fires those shots across through the middle of the figure eight, and they waited on out here. Singaporeans just quite content to just wait for the Chinese to come to them. As the Singaporeans, the Chinese drop from the top of the map and say hello to the Singaporean players. They all start to meet in through the mid. As the shots start to ring out, it is 2-0 on the scoreboard in favour of China at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, as the shots ring out all over the place. More hits coming through from the Chinese players as the Ice comes up from in the middle of the map. Ice, on this occasion, the player that is being left on his lonesome for most of the map, as now he gets the subjected to the Harry Potter broomstick, courtesy of Moon, who goes flying over in his general direction, literally straight made a beeline towards him, as Ice continues to make some momentum. They've got them, grabbed themselves a first up kill. The Chinese players have lost one of their own, that is their Priest. There goes the Elemental Lord. They've got themselves into a good stead here. The Mercenary, 777, has 3 to take down. He's got a whole host of work to do. He's slowed down by the Elemental Lord on the Ice spell, then poisoned up as he tries to bail on out the back. Out comes the Holy Light Stomp, and it won't quite get him as the 3 Singaporean players line themselves up in a wall of doom, waiting for that man to come to them. The Chinese player is just going to bide his time, wait it on out as more Holy Light goes streaming down from above, and the Priest is Priest just flinging a shot at him. As the shots go out there, he's going to go straight for the Acrobat. He thinks he's got lower health as she fires to him, and here comes the Vortex. It's a good one and a decent one. He fires up 1 kill, and that's going to be a decent one for him to start off on. Now he needs to push on to the next kill opportunity that he's got. It's going to be the Acrobat taken down, or he gets knocked to the ground. He's still in the game here, ladies and gentlemen, with 1 minute to go on the timer. It is still all on for him. There's a Priest still standing, so that Mercenary has no assistance whatsoever, but the Priest and the Elemental Lord do. In goes the 777 now. He baits into a cheeky little run, pushes across, goes towards the Elemental Lord. She blinks away from him, and it's going to be all that she needs to do to evade the kill, or to evade the damage that was coming her way. She drops a bomb, and that's exactly what will take down that man, the 777. 2-1 on the scoreboard is what ensues there in the end, ladies and gentlemen. After all the delays, we are rocking and rolling here on the map. First round went to China, and they picked it up 5-2 in the end, and did some very good work along the way through. They are now on the side of red, which is what you see them here, and they are starting to push their way up to the top of the bridge, looking around for the opposition. Can't quite see them at this stage. There's the players from Singapore just biding their time, waiting, or firing off an early blow there was the Elemental Lord VFO, but didn't pick up anything along the way. Sorry, NFO in fact. VFO is the acrobat, and there he is on screen right there. Just having a look up to the top of the bridge, peeking and poking. Nobody really wanting to engage at this stage. They know that there's a round here that needs to be won from both sides of the equation. Double-pronged attack coming on through here. The Chinese line them up nicely. But hello, how's your father? The big Harry Potter broomstick comes out, and then the evasion Harry Potter broomstick comes out from Moon as he disappears out the back with his. But it was some good damage done through the middle there with NFO dropping his broomstick out and roaring up the flames in through the middle. There's going to be trouble at mill for the priest from the Singaporean side here as he cops a whole host of damage and a whole host of hurt. The mercenary unloads on the back of him just at the right time as he was about to unload a spell as well. And it's going to be a 3v3 situation still, but only just as shots ringing out across the map. There goes the ice flinging up in the air. There's a big whirlwind in through the middle there. The mercenary catches one player up and through the middle of it, and he's going to take down a couple along the way. The Elemental Lord will get a kill, and it's going to be a 3v1 situation. China have the advantage, and there's the acrobat standing still, rock steady, waiting for players to come to her. And it doesn't matter how much you wait, love, you've still got a 3v1 situation to try and take down, and it'll be VFO who's stuck in a world of hurt here any second, as the two Chinese players just watch their 1v1 master do exactly that. Look at them just sitting in behind there, just saying, go, you got this, bro. We'll just sit back here, and if you need us, just holler out. And that's exactly what they'll continue to do. As 777 gets himself into a decent enough position, takes out the acrobat, and gets himself some good 1v1 practice along the way through. Well played to that man there, grabs his team a very important round, pushes them out to 3-1 on the scoreboard as they already have one match in hand. They just need to win this one to take out this complete game, and it will be a very good result for them. So 3-1 as the two teams organise themselves straight out of spawn, and they both hook a left, which is their various figure 8 side. As they both meet up at the top of the bridge. Now the pain train will start to unleash. As the shots are good ones, the ice comes out, so does the mercenary, as the priest starts to unload their various lightning crosses and otherwise, and everybody's going to be bashed off the bridge. Let's see what is going to happen down the bottom. The priest and the elemental would have been left down below from the Chinese perspective. This is going to give the chance for the mercenary to get at least a whole host of damage taken down on him if the Singaporeans can capitalise on it. The mercenary is doing some great evasion work, and he has managed to evade every manner of attack coming his way. Well, at least he was. Now there's some more coming in his direction, but his support has come in to assist him finally. He's already been knocked down to quite a big piece of damage, and he'll continue to do so as he pushes on through. They're going to continue to aim their targeting at him, and the poor old 777 will suffer. He'll be the first man to fall. So that was great work from the Singaporeans, targeting a very good player early on in the round, and at least getting the advantage of knocking their two teammates off the bridge. 777 got stuck and wasn't able to reply. The acrobat is now just toying around with the priest, who cannot get up out of this little ragdoll situation. It is just going to be 3v1 there after that piece of work is done. The acrobat couldn't do it against 777, but he could against the priest, and it's just going to be the elemental lord left to try and pick the game up. Oh, hold the phone. Massive storm raging as the elemental lord takes out a priest. A 2v1 situation. Oh, but there you go. If all else fails, drop an acrobatic bomb on your opposition, and Singapore will grab another round. 3-2, courtesy of VFO's acrobatic styles, and less than satisfactory landing unless you're talking about creating damage. So rocking in through the middle as they push in hard styles here. It's very aggressive from 777. He goes raging straight into the war and pushes across through the middle of the map, straight across, sprints across towards the opposition, and then leads his team into battle. Hollers at them, says, come on dudes, get in behind me, we've got this, as the Chinese team start to push on through. They've segmented their acrobat down the back. VFO just getting caught in behind, but they're really more just a taunt and a tease as the priest starts to get into the action. They get themselves into a nice position here at the moment, looking to try and split the Chinese team. Can't quite do so on this occasion. There's a little bit of an air vortex thrown up around the acrobat as more trouble on the stairs at this point in time. as the two players are just battling it out down the bottom there. The Chinese are in the red side, the Singaporean players in the blue. The acrobat there getting caught in that whirlwind smash with the axe going round and round and round. Cops a whole lot of damage to the acrobat VFO. He's got some support from his teammates, but it's just not quite enough at this stage. He really needs them to step up and help him out in a big, big way. The priest is there, just getting a bit of a battle out in backplay. He now gets some support from his acrobatic friend. The Elemental Lord comes in. There we go. A couple of Chinese players get dumped, and it's going to be a 3v1 situation. The Singaporeans, if they manage to pull this one off, have done so fantastically out of the realms of unthinkable. They were on such a low state of health, and they still are. That Elemental Lord, 3% at the moment, 16% on the acrobat, and that is fantastic work from the Singaporean players to come back from those brinks of disaster. The Chinese players definitely had the advantage earlier on in that round, and as it come to a close, the Chinese just really started to waver off, and in the end it was the Singaporeans who pushed on through. Good combinations coming to the pass, as well as some decent support from that priest to make sure that the heels maintained their status. Singapore teaming up to get a big dive from the acrobat. Couldn't quite hit her mark. If she'd done so, it would have been curtains for one of the players for sure, as now they're getting themselves into a world of pain. There's a solid piece of work here from the acrobat. She is absolutely hammering away on the priest, it looks like. As she pushes him off the bridge, she gets knocked off herself. She goes down towards the bottom. There's a little bit of a buffering done by the priest, but it's probably a little bit too late because the damage has already been done. Now the priest is, the acrobat is going to change her object of her desires to the mercenary, as before the Elemental Lord comes in. VFO stepped up a notch here, ladies and gentlemen. The Singaporean acrobat is absolutely unloading on his opposition. 3v3 situation. He is creating havoc on this map. The troll bridges is where all the action is going down, and he is causing most of the attention that the Chinese players need to push on him. The mercenary still going for an opposition player, taking no notice of the acrobat, who could come back into her own in just a second. Now she gets hammered by the priest. 3v2 situation. Singapore lose their first. And it is, in fact, that man, the VFO, who caused so much damage. Let's see if his two teammates can capitalise on the damage that was created. The priest unloads. He fires off the electricity. It's going to be a wholly light damage, but it's going to be the mercenary who unloads mostly to cause all the chaos. The priest will come in to finish it off and grab the kill credit, but it will be a decent round in the end from China after so much attention from the acrobat. VFO coming into his own, just not able to get the extra damage assistance from his teammates, and in the end it'll be 4 rounds to 3 on the scoreboard. The Chinese have match point. Match and game point, of course, as well, given that they have that first round, or that first match already up their sleeve, which they picked up 5 rounds to 2 on that scoreboard there. So the Dragon Nest Arena comes into its own here, ladies and gentlemen. We see the two players atop the bridge, the two teams atop the bridge starting to push onto each other. There's the shots, there's the ringing out across the map, ringing true as well as the priest starts to push on through. There's a mercenary in backplay, but it's all happening at the top of the bridge. The soldier, or the senior soldier version of the priest, is struggling under the strain of being left all on his lonesome. His teammates coming to support him here, but he's already copped a whole host of hurt, and the priest is going to be really struggling to try and recover out of this one. The mercenary comes into the push and starts swinging the axe around a very, very big fashion. The Harry Potter broomstick is going to work into good effect there. Great timing from NFO as he unloads that, and he is going to hopefully assist his teammates. As I say that, he just blinks out of the way of his opposition player. Moon tried the broomstick at the same time, and he's going to get taken down and back play. Great work there from NFO. He's going to bounce off the bridge and now going for some support play off his teammate. It's a 3v2 situation. The acrobat and Elemental Lord sit steady and tight, waiting for the priest to come into support. He has already done so. He's off to the right hand side. There is the priesty man there. Come on, Ice, get amongst it, sunshine. He fires down the holy light, fires off some crosses. It's just going to put them back into their spawn and hold them there for a period of time. There's 1 minute 30 left on the clock, so they've got plenty of time to just sit out here and wait it on outside the front door. They're going to have to come to them at some point in time because they need to get that kill. Out they come. Shots go in. Shots are huge. They are absolutely massively targeted. The acrobat unloads and beautifully does it right on top of the player. It is going to be curtains here for the Chinese, and it'll go 4 rounds apiece in just a second. The priest is now being absolutely slaughtered, and in just a second will be taken down. He's just doing a decent evasion at the moment, and there's the victory. 4 rounds apiece. The Singaporean players come back with a massive vengeance. once again, they got players stuck on top of the bridge, and that worked in their advantage. They managed to pick up a couple of good shots, a couple of good kills, and it's worked very, very well for them to pick on up another kill. So we'll start to push on into the next round as the two players, or the two teams, start to converge in through the middle as a different alleyway is taken. And we like what we're seeing here from the Singaporean side. This is your team, ladies and gentlemen. They're at home here at the Funan Digital Life Mall in Singapore, seeking your assistance. So get in behind them as they start to unload hell up the top of the bridge. They're going to need all the support they can get as their shots go out. It's a good grand cross through the mid. It'll do some decent damage to the mercenary as the crosses are also sitting in through the middle there. Out comes the Elemental Lord. NFO's got a lot of work to do. In comes Moon to try and assist his teammates as he gets split away from them. They've done a split once again, have the Singaporean side, but they've done the split to the point where this is fantastic work. There goes one player. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Your Singaporean side is right on it. The Priest is into a bit of a problem as she gets caught over to one side. There, and the Priest has gone down. It is all up to that one man in the form of the Elemental Lord, and Moon has a whole host of work to do. He's not going to do it. Singapore back from the brink will take the win. It'll be 7 kills for the Elemental Lord, 5 for the Acrobat, and 3 for the Priest. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. Singapore come away with the win here on the map of Lost Temple. We'll go to a third. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to go to the third match, and it is going to be a very, very important tussle here between these two sides. Singapore struggled earlier on in the day and have come back with a vengeance as we push our way across to the map. And nope, looks like we're going to false start on that one, so we'll go back to the Coliseum and back into the lobby system, and we'll wait to restart that game in just a second. So look, a fantastic start there from the Chinese. They got themselves well up in advance, 4 rounds to 3 it was, and then a good couple of round comeback from the Singaporean players as they managed to pick the game up, push it back onto them. But the key for the Singaporeans, which is what we'll have to see as we jump across to the Lost Temple in a minute, is whether or not they can maintain splitting up that Chinese attack and as it comes through to them. Let's go across to the Lost Temple right now. So the two teams get themselves ready and organised. Once again, China is back onto the side of blue as they are on the Ancients. The chaos is formed by the Singaporeans, who have the work to do to get themselves into the lead here in their home ground. The Chinese will certainly have something to say about it after being taken fairly close by the Malaysians just a little while ago. But let's see how it all starts to unfold and push on through as... In fact, it was the Philippines earlier on that the Chinese went up against. As everything starts to unravel itself here, there's a whole host of damage being flung out. The Chinese already been ragdolled around quite a lot. The explosions are coming thick and fast. There's a Priest down already for the Singaporeans. That's not good news for them. And an Acrobat goes down as well. The Elemental Lord is going to be the next on the cards, and she will be absolutely smash targeted by the opposition. And indeed, well, she's still sitting tight as the Flame Rod comes out there from NFO. He tries his darndest to get on the broomstick and unload onto the opposition to at least try and pick up a kill on the way through. Maybe get himself into a slightly better situation. Unable to do so at the moment. It is going to be a victory somewhat easily to the Chinese team. And they will get their first round in the third map. So we are going to push on to the next one here as the sides get themselves ready to kick off into another battle. It is the night has crept on in here at Funan Digital Life Mall, and the players are starting to get themselves ready to take the spoils away. They really want to capitalise on this game. It is an so important one. The push comes from the Chinese. They go finding the Singaporean players as they go over to the side of the map. They've taken away the bridge strat at this stage, have the Singaporeans, and instead they're going in toe-to-toe. The Elemental Lord onto the Priest out the back is a good little option here for Singapore at the moment, and now it's going to be Priest out the back as the Lightning Cross gets dropped down right next to the opposition Priest. The Grand Cross gets thrown out there from the Singaporean player across into the middle of the map. Still a 3v3 situation. The Mercenary is throwing out the Whirlwind Axe as he gets on top of that Priest who was over in the back play in the wrong position, one would probably say. Shots continuing to push on through. Here comes the NFO on his little Harry Potter broomstick. He fires the shots out across through the mid as more unloading continues to happen. 3v3 situation. The Chinese lose their first. It's a 3v2 situation. That's the Elemental Lord down, taken out by her opposite number. and it's going to be a 3v2 in favour of Singapore here. The side in red, the priest goes toe-to-toe with his opposite man. He just troubles him more than anything by just bashing him around the head with that mace. Just tapping him upside the wrong side of the head, and fires out the holy light to take him down in the end. Great work there from him as the acrobat grabs the accreditation for the kill, and it'll be another round on the board. One each now, as the two teams are certainly showing that they are very evenly poised, very evenly matched. And there's going to be a heck of a lot of a battle coming through for you here, ladies and gentlemen. The Singaporean players get themselves organised as the Chinese go chasing. It's going to be a little game of cat and mouse here, I can imagine, in these later rounds, and quite rightly so, as these two teams need to get the higher ground and need to get from by higher ground I really do mean the advantage of rounds on the board, as the bridge is used now in the battle for the Singaporean players. They're firing the shots down from up top of it, as the shots come down towards the Chinese players who are down the bottom. 777's got a different idea. He's got an idea to go rocking on in there and go nuts at anybody who comes in his general direction, as does VFO. He gets his acrobatic styles out and tries to go and bash some players down the bottom of the map. He's caught in a 3v1 situation, which is not good news for him. He tried to be cheeky and taunt his way into a couple of hits, but in the end he got stuck down the bottom of the map there, and now he's going to get unloaded on as the Elemental Lords start to come into play. It is a tight tussle here down the back of the map. Let's see if we can get into exactly where the shots are coming out. As you see all the ice firing on up, there's a couple of crosses being laid down to support and buff their teammates. It's still a 3v3 situation. Fire and ice being thrown down all over the place as well. The acrobat over in the corner taking on the priest, as the vortex wind just going up there. It is a 2v1 team up from the Chinese on one side of the map, and then it's a 2v1 from the Singaporeans on the other side. Now they even it back up and go 1v1 v1v1. The vortex, or the big swirling hit from the mercenary comes out. He doesn't quite pick up as many players as he wanted to, but he managed to pick up one and take them down. Or the priest here from the Chinese side, just copping a bit of damage and being lucky to still survive off that one. But it's going to be a 3v1 situation, as the acrobat still surviving somehow, being objected or subjected to the mercenary's big axe, and that will be enough to get the win, as 777 gets himself another kill to add to his ever-increasing tally for the day. 2 rounds to 1, the Chinese take the lead once again. It is the third map, or the third match of 3 here, ladies and gentlemen, and the winner of this one will of course grab the points for the day, as the winner here will want to consolidate on another win for their tally. Singapore just waiting it out up the top of the bridge. The Chinese waiting it out down the bottom of the bridge. The boulder goes out from 777 at the same time as a lightning cross at that, is dropped down in front of the Singaporean players. They just seek refuge in down the bottom of the map now, as they decide to bail off the bridge option. Holy light is dropped down from above, but it's not going to really be anything to worry about. Grand Cross comes flying up the stairwell of the bridge. Nothing to worry about once again. The two teams are separating themselves and keeping themselves fairly far apart. It is a 3v3 situation still. 1 minute has elapsed, 2 still left on the clock. The two teams quite content just to wait it out. Here comes the push now. The Singaporean players coming roaring up the hill. At the same time as they came up the hill, they all barreled off the bridge and jumped down the bottom. Acrobat goes in. Go on, VFO. Get amongst it, son, as he does so with the jumping around. He gups a whole host of damage on the way through, and as his teammates do so at the same time, it is an absolute volley of attacks and damage going all the way around the place. Grand Cross, that's the big X flying through the air there. That looked like it was from the Singaporean player, as the Chinese players continue to unload. There's some more ice coming up through the floor. The shots are a good one here on the Elemental Lord from Singapore, and she's going to be the only player left as the mercenary unloads once again. She's going to get caught over in the corner, and the mercenary absolutely unloading. 777 is an absolute demon with that axe in hand, and he once again consolidates a win for his team. 3 rounds to 1, ladies and gentlemen. China grab themselves a double round advantage and are doing very, very well with the work that they're doing here on the map of Lost Temple. It is a figure 8, as we see that man of the spotlight just rocking his way out of spawn and moving on around the corner, going up towards the figure 8. Let's see if they can see the Singaporean players up to the mid there. Yes, they can. So it's no secret where everybody's hiding. It's not the biggest map to go evading everybody on, and they will not do so here. The push coming up through the middle of the map is a slow one from both sides. Grand Cross is called from the priest, That is the big man in the form of Ice. He fires it out through the middle. Haven't seen a lot from him here in this third and final map. He'll want to step up for his side as the Singaporean team just casually sitting there. The Chinese side, plenty of chatter going on for them. A lot of chatter now coming out of the Singaporean side of things as well. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remain as 50 seconds have elapsed in this round. 3-on-1 situation. Bang, onto the broomstick goes NFO. He does some good damage in through the middle of the players there. So let's see if he and his teammates can capitalise on the good work that he's just done. Acrobat comes storming in with the somersault attacks. She starts to just evade and fire out some bow shots. Now she'll just bounce around a bit, or coming out the back to say hello to the priest. It looks like it could be ragdoll time. No, not quite. Some good support is offered. Mercenary bashes the Acrobat, but not quite in the direction that he wanted her to go. And smash down onto the ground. The big aerial attack is a good one. It's going to create a nice bit of collateral damage for all concerned, but it's not quite enough to take out a player. She's going to get caught in the vortex. All three players are going to get stuck in that whirlwind from the mercenary, and this is a great piece of work here from 777. They are stuck out in the back play. The 777 player has done some fantastic work here. The Chinese just looking to consolidate, try and grab a kill. They do grab one. They're going to have to get themselves tempered and set up quite nicely here. The cross goes out. They've got a minute left on the clock as they start to reset everybody. It's a 3v2 situation. Singapore, they've got the Elemental Lord and the Priest still standing, while all three still wait out in back play as far as the Chinese are concerned. As I say that, of course, they've lost another player, so it'll be Mercenary and Elemental Lord. They've lost their Priest, and that could come down to being a very vital piece of the puzzle. The Elemental Lord now sitting up top, the Priest doing so also. It'll turn into an evasion game here, and both sides will start to hastily run away from each other. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They either have to split up and try their luck, or go double teaming, running around, trying to look for these Chinese players. The Chinese players are sitting back. Thus, the theory is that they're on lower health, at least from a Singaporean perspective. Big area of effect attack going on there as the Elemental Lord is just backing out of there as they both get peeked on. Here comes the rush. The Elemental Lord barrels out of there in an invasion tactic with the flame rod. They're pushing on through. Other two players here from Singapore. They've got 3 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to go to a draw. Well evaded there from the Chinese side. They've certainly avoided imminent death. 6% was what the Mercenary was on, and 1% was what the Elemental Lord was on. They did not have anything in the tank, and the Priest had made it nice and easy for the Singaporean side. They could have rushed earlier. They didn't do so, and as a result, they lose out on the opportunity there. It will remain 3-1 on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. Just to remind you, of course, it is first to 5 rounds here in this matchup between the Chinese and Singapore teams, and this is the third map of 3 for which we are looking to seek a result. The first map, of course, taken 2 rounds to 5, or rather 5 rounds to 2 in favour of the Chinese, and the second map taken in favour of Singapore, 5 rounds to 4. A decent comeback train was set on the tracks, and it's exactly how it all ended up in the end. The Chinese just biding their time at the back this time round. The Singaporeans going for the top of the bridge tactic. It worked for them last game. Will the Chinese go hunting up to the top of that bridge this time round as the buffs are unloaded and everybody gets themselves organised? 1 minute passes. Plenty of discussion here from Cookie as he yells at his two teammates. He is quite content to just throw out the orders, or at least offer the advice. And now they start to come to blows, the Singaporean players. Here is Ice on your screen right now. He's looking to try and unload all manner of damage onto the opposition. Can't quite get the big shots onto them. The Holy Light comes down. There comes the Ice, and it's not the man that I'm talking about. It is in fact the freezy stuff that comes out of the Elemental Lord's wand, as she is unloading Mary Hell onto that man, the Ice. Flame going in his general direction this time round, and here's the support player in the form of that is in fact Cookie. So he gets down, so he's taken down. Another 2 Chinese players are taken down, in fact, as it's going to turn into a 3v1 situation. It is just the Elemental Lord, because 777 has been reduced to ashes as well. It'll be a 2v1 situation though, as another player is taken out. The Elemental Lord just finding a kill onto the opposition Priest, and in the end, long range attack from the Elemental Lords. And great work there from NFO to pick himself up a kill. 3 rounds to 2. We get a result in that round, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll push on into the next one. The two sides very vocal amongst each other, just talking away. The Chinese are quite happy to yabber away and make sure everybody knows exactly what the story is, and they continue to do so. The Singaporeans much more relaxed, not as vocal and chatty, but just offering some advice here and there as everybody pushes to the top of the bridge from the Singaporeans. Oh, great boulder there from 777 as he throws it over in the right direction and hits the mark straight off the bat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dragon Nest Arena. It is 3v3 action here in this PvP face-off at the Shanda Invitational. Best of 4 between the Southeast Asia teams of Singapore, China, who are on your screens right now. Philippines and Malaysia are also, they'll be showing up in a little while soon too. And these teams looking to take out the titles in 3v3 and 1v1 action as Elemental Lord cops a bit of an explosion to her face. She gets dropped and gets back up again as it's a 3v3 situation still. Fire and flames flinging around. The Acrobat goes in gung-ho styles. VFO bouncing around the map, trying to find himself a combination kill. Gets electrified a little bit up in the air and now starts to unload. He's going to get the Vortex out. Does he know he's going to get downed instead? Ice comes out and he freezes him to the spot. He gets the Vortex out that time around. That is good work from him there. He now gets frozen into a shard. He could be in trouble street here, but unloads the bomb. That'll do some good offensive damage there for his team. Let's see if they can capitalise on it, can his team, as the Elemental Lord and all concerned start to team up. It is a big mercenary whirlpool of doom as he flings a couple of players up into the air and he'll get 2 kills for his troubles. The Priest and I think it is going to be the Acrobat. And in fact, no, it's not. It's going to be the Priest and the Elemental Lord, so just the Acrobat remains, and will go down in a great big hurry. There you go, 4 rounds to 2. The Chinese grab match point, and 3 players still standing there for them on that occasion, and some great work ensuing from that Chinese team. They are working very, very nicely together. Ice leads his team out of spawn. He needs to get them to pick themselves up off the dirt and do a massive comeback like they did last time. And it is looking ever so fearsome for them to do so. The Chinese not falling for the top of the bridge tactic this game, and they'll be happy to continue to, or maybe they will, as they start to all enjoy a run over towards that bridge. Boulders go out from 777. He's had a whale of a game so far as more shots go flinging down towards him. And the Chinese players just content to stay down the bottom of the stairs, wait it all out as they watch the Singaporean players up the top of the hill there, or the top of the stairs, should I say, on the bridge. And then comes the Grand Cross. It's slow and steady wins the race as far as that thing's concerned, as the healing buffs come out here. Oh, it's almost like a taunt in reality from the Chinese, just saying, yeah guys, you can throw all the long shots you like down, but we'll quite happily sit down the back here and wait for you to come to us. And the healing buff continues to unload. Now they start to get toe to toe. It's going to be a close range action down the back. The holy light streams in through the camera there for you as everybody's starting to push on into the close range territory. It's going to be a big bash up and mash up in the around the back. Fire and ice getting thrown around. There's the man on screen here, just in the closest corner of your screen is the Iceman. He's starting to push on through. He's firing, finding his opposition player. They've grabbed themselves 1 kill. That is a decent effort for the Singaporean side. They've taken down one of the Chinese players. And it's going to be the Elemental Lord and the Priest still standing. So 777 has been taken out of the equation. They've objected and subjected him to a whole lot of damage. That's the Cookie taken out, and then Moon will follow as it turns into a 3 still standing for the Singaporeans. They grab a round back, 4 rounds to 3, ladies and gentlemen. That could be the first on a comeback train. Let's wait and see how it progresses as the two sides get themselves organised. We'll follow the blinking Elemental Lord of NFO and through to the mid. They are setting themselves up nicely here, the Singaporean side, as they go over towards their favourite setup line. Once again, as I get my camera caught, goodness me. And we'll start to push on up to the top of the bridge. Singaporeans once again take status and plant their flag at the top of that bridge and wait it on out. More shots being flung out down towards the bottom of those stairs. Very patient game here from both sides. Whoa, a little bit of a splash damage there on the Priest, not expecting an arrow to come down and strike him in the back of the head as they continue to wait it on out. Singaporean players very patient at the top of the map. They're just waiting and waiting, firing out the odd area of effect shot, but also very patient. Acrobat goes roaring on down. So does the Elemental Lord. Oh, here comes the Flame Rod. flies right through the middle of all the opposition players, then gets himself stuck into a bit of an awful position. So it'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds as we watch the players start to continue to bash and crash over in the back there. Plenty of flame flying up on the screen, as you can see. The shots are going out all over the place as we watch to see who's going to do the most damage. Here's Ice on screen. They've grabbed themselves a Chinese kill, so they've got a 3v2 situation. The mercenary of 777 still stands, and there's still all action on when he's doing that. It is going to be a 3v2 situation to continue, as this is the mercenary of that man 777. He's unloaded a whole lot of hurt onto the Elemental Lord, but hasn't quite been able to take him down. And NFO, oh, here comes the Vortex. He caught the Acrobat in amongst it and flings her up into the air. So he's going to have to go and chasing some more players, and it's exactly what he's going to find, an Elemental Lord from behind. It's just going to be 777 left in a 3v1 situation as the other player is being taken down. They've done very well to both hold off 777 in the back play, and they grab it to a 4v4. Unreal situation for Singapore. And then there was one, ladies and gentlemen, one round which ruled them all, and one round to call the winner here in this matchup. China taking on Singapore. It has come down to this, the last round in 3 matches, as these two teams get themselves organised once again. Just in respect to that previous little round, the player caught in back play was the mercenary, and what effectively happened was the 2v1s went full effect. And it was very well worked from the Singaporean team to make sure that that 777 mercenary was kept at bay, and then they could unload the full fury of a 3v1 on top of him. And it doesn't matter how good you are, when you've got 3 players bearing down upon you, you're not going to come out too well at the other end of that. So we have this little Mexican standoff with the bridge shot going on here. Plenty of chatter between the two teams, as the very vocal and animated Chinese continue to keep the communication going. Here comes the Elemental Lord, the Singaporean players pushing on down this time round, as the Acrobat just teasing and taunting. She's pushing on. 1 minute has elapsed. 2 minutes remain in the round as the shots go flying on out there. They've popped out a buffing cross just to get themselves some heals back up on the board. And now the Singaporeans just barreling back. Let's see what they're going to do here, the Chinese, as they go back towards spawn. So they're going to corner themselves back at spawn and be quite happy to just sit and wait it out. In the meantime, the Singaporeans waiting atop the bridge, just firing off the odd shot here and there. But there's the buffs coming out from the priest for China. So Cookie just continuing to do the work that he does. And at the same time, there goes the good work of that man Ice. He's got NFO and VFO working very nicely together. They're content to hold the high ground at the moment, the Singaporean side. The mercenary of 777 teasing, coming forward, saying, come on down off the bridge. Singapore not content to take this one, and looks like we're going to have a massive Mexican standoff here, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for these two sides to continue to push on through. 1 minute remaining on the clock, as the priest in the form of a Cookie just barreling over to the left-hand side, following his 2 teammates. Elemental Lord in the form of Moon goes down the bottom. Here we go. Now we're in for it. The good tap and drop there from the Acrobat in the form of the VFO. There goes the rod of flame through the middle as well. The Harry Potter broomstick, if you will. And there it goes again. Great work there from that man NFO. He's unloaded Mary Hell on the opposition. So let's see how this starts to elapse. 30 seconds on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to go thick and fast. Keep your eyes on it and keep your eyes peeled. The evasioning, yeah, I think that is an evasive type of flame rod there going out from that man, the Moon. The shots continue to push on through. Still a 3v3 situation. Players getting low on health all over the place as the continued shots occur. Mercenaries now starting to unload. It's going to be a very, very close one for all concerned. 10 seconds left on the clock. Will it be a case of a player being the difference between the two sides? The mercenary goes unloading. It's going to be a priest who will take out a shot. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a 3v3, 2 seconds, 1 second, draw. It was so close. Let's quickly roll through them. 7% there for the Acrobat, 6% for the priest. Singapore evade what could have been a doom-bringing round for them, and they'll come back and start it again. Keep your eyes fixed again, ladies and gentlemen. We could have a couple of minutes worth of close-range attacking, followed by, long-range attacking, followed by some close-range craziness, which is what you just saw there. The tactic on that situation, this time around, the Chinese take the higher ground, so the Singaporeans left down the bottom of the map. And I'm not sure they'll be too unimpressed with that, but they certainly won't be as worried about it at this stage, because that just means that they'll lead the Chinese round the bend. And here we go. So the Chinese have followed them in through to the middle of the map. So they've got themselves stuck out the back there. There we go. Cross is dropped. Lightning Cross is dropped. The Priest starts to push on through. Ice asks for some support from his two teammates. Then they oblige. They've cornered the Priest over in the corner. The Elemental Lord has got him into a good bit of trouble here and is really starting to hammer home on him. The Chinese have left their Priest behind. They can't quite take him down. The Acrobat has come back round and baited them into a bit of a situation. That is some great work, and they've taken out the Priest. Fantastic piece of work from the Singaporean players as they now start to get the heat in amongst it. There's going to be a push. E777 needs to come out with something magical here for his side. The Acrobats start to push on through. VFO's got him caught. He's absolutely barreling him over in the corner. The Mercenary has nothing to answer for. He's going to get taken down. He is taken down. This is Singapore's round, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it and wait for it to occur, because it is going to happen in just a few seconds. The Elemental Lord blinking away from any trouble. It is going to be a 1v1 between the two Elemental Lords as the Acrobat comes on in. Is surely going to be the big bomb of doom. No, it's not. It's a couple of arrows for Singapore to win. 8 kills to the Elemental Lord for the Chinese. 8 kills to the Elemental Lord for the Singaporeans. The difference, 5 kills for the Acrobat, 3 kills for the Priest, versus 4 for the Mercenary and 2 for the Priest. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been a mega matchup between the Chinese and Singaporean teams on the Lost Temple, and the Chinese have come away second best. Singapore wins against all odds after being 4-2 down. So a solid piece of work there from the Singaporean players. As I just said, coming back from a 4-2 situation down in that final round, they evened it up at 4 apiece, and then after a drawn previous round, they picked it up out of the scraps of nothing and managed to pull a win out of nowhere. They looked very average earlier on in the day, and they've come back fantastically. I accredit it to the lunch they had with me, but that's a different story altogether. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Dragon Nest Arena action, as hard and heavy as it can come. Stick around, we've got more of it here at the Dragon Nest Arena, live from Funan Central.